Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So I know I'm a little bit late to this. There was some stuff I needed to do and I just couldn't get a video out yesterday, but it's okay because I'm here now. And as you guys probably expect, I loved the trailer, I loved the gameplay. Everything was perfect in my eyes. So today we're gonna do like a news update video kind of thing and go through the gameplay, and I think there was some screenshots that got shown off. We're gonna go through all of that and just talk about it briefly. Because I don't want to do a full gameplay breakdown just yet, because I believe there are people in LA this weekend that are going to be playing the game a lot. So we're going to have so much gameplay with that happening, so I don't want to go through just this when there's going to be a lot more for us to go over after that. So I'm going to be pausing as we go through and explaining some things, talking about the story. I believe there was like a press release or something people were talking about, which I have no idea what that is. I'm sorry, I'm just not educated on that. And I guess that they had said some stuff about the story mode, but I couldn't find it before starting this video up, so let's go ahead and just watch this. I love the blue, dude. The blue theme is so nice. Okay, so we start out with Sub-Zero and Scorpion. So they seem to be attacking Kung Lao and Raiden at the Fengjian tea house. And I don't know exactly why. Of course, we don't really know the circumstances, but it seems that it's because Liu Kang wants to test their strength and attacks them with them to like test if they're worthy to be part of the Earthrealm fighters, which is kind of interesting considering how Mortal Kombat 11 ended, where Liu Kang confronts Kung Lao, because this is like implying that that never happened, and that was just for the ending of that game, right? And so Kung Lao is actually living his own life. Raiden is one of his friends from the Shaolin Temple, and Liu Kang has not recruited them yet. But he has recruited Scorpion and Sub-Zero, which are brothers in this timeline. Ed Boon did confirm that.
I have had enough of you. Then go before I put you down.
Oh my god, I love Kung Lao. His face model is so good in this game. Okay, so here's the first ounce of gameplay. And it looks good. It definitely looks good. It does remind me a lot of Mortal Kombat 11, but I do think that it's extremely fast-paced compared to Mortal Kombat 11, and there's also aerial combat, which was basically completely not present in Mortal Kombat 11. Okay, sorry if there's a weird cut. I'm recording this a little bit later because I recorded like 20 minutes and OBS just didn't capture it, so that's wonderful. But we're gonna disregard that and we're gonna continue. So like I was saying though, the gameplay is a lot faster, I guess, when you compare it to Mortal Kombat 11. But I think that the core mechanics do seem very Mortal Kombat 11-esque. And on top of that, we do have the aerial combat, of course, like this, which is something you would never see in Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay, you have proven worthy of joining us. Come, there are other champions, I must gather.
Okay, so as we can see, it seems that Liu Kang recruited Sub-Zero and Scorpion before anyone else, which does kind of contradict the ending of Mortal Kombat 11, but putting that aside, it does make a lot of sense that Liu Kang was like, okay, I gotta start recruiting the Earthrealm fighters, who were some of the strongest Earthrealm warriors in the past timelines. So of course, Scorpion and Sub-Zero are perfect examples of that. So it does make sense that he recruited them, and I do like this dynamic of them being like his right-hand man. They seem like very loyal to him, which I'll talk about as we go on, but I do like that. Also, whatever Liu Kang is wearing, like, I respect it. You know what I mean? Like, us emo folk, we have to stay together. So I really do respect the fit. And then here he is saying that Raiden and Kung Lao are now worthy to join the Earthrealm fighters. So it does seem that he had Scorpion and Sub-Zero test them by trying to fight them. And that's basically it for this section here.
What do you want? Sento, it's my family blade. Sento's mine, and I won't give it up without a fight.
Okay, so here we see Kenshi versus Johnny Cage. And I can't even lie, I thought that this was Cole Young when I first was watching this, which gave me a jump scare and a half, but it is not. So this is Johnny Cage's mansion. Again, the stages in this game look absolutely beautiful, which is what I was expecting when I pointed out my gameplay prediction video. He's in like Hollywood Hills, it looks like. It looks really nice. But Kenshi wants Sento from Johnny Cage. And this is already a huge change from the main timeline, in previous Mortal Kombat games, because we all know that Sento guided Kenshi out of the grave of his loved ones, because Shang Tsung took all of those souls and blinded Kenshi, and through doing that, Kenshi of course was blind, and he used Sento to guide him out of that situation. So the fact that he doesn't have Sento here is really interesting, and he's also not blind. So I wonder how this is going to change the story and how this is going to happen. But I bet you to Johnny Cage, it's just some like knick-knack on his wall because he's like, you know, some rich guy. So it does make a lot of sense. And yeah, the stage is beautiful, but let's continue. Okay, so here is our first glimpse at a fatal blow. And on top of that, it's actually with the cameo fighter. Okay, it also seems that all fatal blows end with an explosion, but this was a fatal blow, and it was also with the cameo fighter, which in this case was Sub-Zero. And that is something I did not expect. I don't think anyone really expected that. Cameo fighters are going to be able to be used not only as assist characters, but also be used in your fatal blows and your fatalities. So I do wonder if every cameo fighter does the same animations with any character that they fight with. So in this case, it'll be Kenshi and Sub-Zero doing the fatal blow. If you had Sub-Zero as your cameo and you were doing Scorpion's fatal blow, would it be the exact same animation? Like Scorpion would do his unique animations, but Sub-Zero would still do that like headbutt right there. Like this would all be the exact same. I wonder, right? I'm really curious on how that works. But we can continue here. Okay, now we get some Johnny action. He looks so good, dude. Johnny looks so good.
Okay, let's go back to one here. Who are you again?
Lord Liu Kang, protector of Earthrealm, god of fire.
Okay, we're gonna get into the Liu Kang gameplay right now, but I do want to talk about this a little bit. So here it looks like Johnny Cage and Kenshi finished their fight, and Kenshi is actually tied up. I don't know if Johnny Cage did that, or if Scorpion and Sub-Zero did that because Liu Kang arrived and said like, hey, you gotta stop this shit. So I don't know if Kenshi was actually in the wrong here, or if like Liu Kang is gonna be like, okay, Kenshi, it's your turn on the Xbox, and then he gives him Sento. But it does seem that Liu Kang is trying to stop an altercation here. And then on top of this, I do want to talk about this a little bit because it's so cute. Sub-Zero and Scorpion here are, again, seem very loyal to Liu Kang. So right here, Liu Kang is like telling Scorpion right now, he's like, okay, you did your part, you can rest. And like he's like bowing to him. It's so cute. It does seem very like they are a huge team. Like they really do dedicate themselves to Liu Kang in an interesting way, and I do like that. Also, Sub-Zero's face model, he looks so good. Yeah, so Liu Kang is basically telling him, okay, you guys did good, and they're gonna go chill.
Who are you again?
Lord Liu Kang, protector of Earthrealm.
So I think that here, obviously, Liu Kang is trying to recruit Johnny Cage. So I don't know how Kenshi is gonna be in the mix. Like if he's just gonna recruit Kenshi as well, because Kenshi's tied up. I don't know who did that, but it is interesting. Also, Liu Kang's outfit is just so immaculate, dude. He looks so good. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna get into Liu Kang gameplay right now, though. One thing to keep in mind, Liu Kang is like almost exclusively kicks. He doesn't do like a single punch. Maybe he does one punch to open up the combo, I think. But then after that, it is literally all kicks. But let's go ahead and check it out. Yeah, one kick to open it, or I mean one punch to open it up. Then all kicks. Jax cameo, not even with his arms ripped off, so that is classic Jax. And then the aerial combat. Okay, Liu Kang's gonna clap back though. Uses like this like fire, what do you call that? Cartwheel. It's so sick. But I do mainly want to talk about this, the aerial combat. Again, I'm not gonna do a full gameplay breakdown here because I know we're gonna get a lot of gameplay soon. But it is still interesting to point out because this type of stuff was completely non-existent in Mortal Kombat 11. And here we actually see Scorpion burn meter to do like a, yeah, like an EX move or whatever you call it. I forget what it's actually called. But that's really cool. And then Liu Kang's move here is so sick. This stage is absolutely gorgeous. Just like I talked about in another video, this game seems to be going back to Mortal Kombat's roots. It's not trying to do some like special forces, like the military and all that kind of stuff, and I just do not care about that aspect of Mortal Kombat. I think that this is when Mortal Kombat is at its absolute best, when it's really staying in tune with all of the Asian inspiration that it used to take into its older games. So I really do appreciate this. And this stage is beautiful. All the stages, they seem to have gone so hard on all the stages. Okay, but let's continue.
You have skills, Raiden, but you're inexperienced.
Whatever experience I lack, I make up for in heart.
This is so cool. Okay, oh, there's a Sonya cameo. I want to pause it like right here, this works. We're about to see a breaker, but anyway. So this stage is probably my favorite in the entire trailer. Gosh, it is fucking gorgeous. I think it's the Wuxi Academy, but if it's not the Wuxi Academy, then it's like just the Shaolin temples. One thing that's interesting, not the stage that they're fighting on right now, but in the back here, this like floating like tile that's like held up by ropes. This has been a stage before. I think I distinctly remember it in like Deadly Alliance and maybe Mortal Kombat versus DC. I think I remember seeing it in there. So I think that this might be Wuxi Academy, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. This stage has been a thing before where you fight on this like these tiles that are floating in the water. So we saw a classic Sonya cameo, and right now we're seeing Kenshi versus Raiden. I love Raiden, by the way. This like young Raiden, he seems so cool and so wholesome. Right now in the corner of the screen, you guys can see Kano is about to come in, and he's gonna act as a breaker for Raiden, I believe. So there you go, yeah, it broke the combo. And there's another Kano cameo, a different animation, which we'll talk about. And another different animation, and then here's our first glimpse at a fatality. Okay, we're about to get into some story heavy stuff, so let me go ahead and explain what we just saw, because I don't think I'm going to talk about the gameplay portion of this in today's video. Maybe I will, we'll see. But it's just because we're going to get so much gameplay, I think it would just be kind of a waste to talk about gameplay right now. Especially since they weren't even using the meters in the gameplay from yesterday, but I digress. So in what we just saw, you guys could see that Kano used several different moves. And that is because Ed Boon had said that the cameo fighters actually have directional inputs. And depending on the directional input that you use, they will use a different attack. So some of the cameo fighters can do like combo extenders and combo like enhancements, I guess. Like they can do a move that flows into your combo. But they also can do moves that are actually like entirely independent from you. So for example, when they do their attack, you have to stand by and you can't even control your character when they do certain attacks. So that's what it means by doing like the directional inputs to do different attacks with the cameo fighters. I think Ed Boon said that there were 3, but we can assume that there's probably 4 because for each directional input, up, down, left, and right. Okay, so now we're getting into some story stuff. Now, like I said, there was some type of like press release or something that people read. I do not know where they got that from. If you guys know, please let me know so I can read it and talk about it on a video. But in that press release synopsis for the story, they talked about how Mileena has a disease, and Mileena is the rightful heir to the Outworld throne. So not the Edenia throne? I don't know how that makes sense. But I guess that Mileena is supposed to be the queen of Outworld. And if people find out that she has the disease that she has, then she will be banished and she will lose her throne, right? And so here you can see that she's actually human. She doesn't have the Tarkatan mouth. And Kenshi's here, I guess, like being a makeshift doctor in this very scuffed doctor's office here. But I'm guessing that her disease can be treated, whatever it's called. Like they can temporarily treat it to make her Tarkatan mouth go away. And then she can kind of do her own thing. But then it flares up again and becomes worse and worse. I think that it's gonna have to do with like the main plot of the story. Like this is gonna be something bad. Because again, remember that Liu Kang said that this is gonna be a peaceful timeline. But if stuff like this is happening, then I would assume that there might be some corruption or something working behind the scenes making this happen.
If your disease becomes known, you will be banished. I only want what's best for you.
Or do you secretly covet my throne?
Okay, so as you guys saw here, it shows Mileena's teeth growing into like Tarkatan teeth, and it says that if your disease becomes known, you will be banished. And then she's also afraid.
I only want what's best for you.
Or do you secretly covet my throne?
That Kitana wants to take her throne from her, and that Kitana doesn't actually like care about her or want to help her. If you ask me, I think that Kitana probably does want to help her and is very concerned for Mileena and her like disease, quote unquote. So I wonder how this plotline is going to actually shape up, because again, it says that she's the rightful heir to Outworld, at least in that little synopsis thing. So I don't know how this is going to work, because I thought that it was going to be Edenia, but maybe it's Outworld before an invasion, or what's gonna happen, I don't know. And then I'm guessing that Kitana wants to try and get help for her, and that's why she's like suspicious of Kitana, or I don't know, you know what I mean, we'll see. But it is interesting to note. Okay, so here's some gameplay. This is that stage, I believe, that people were talking about, like Sindel's Garden. But again, it might not be Edenia because they're talking about Outworld, so I don't know. Anyway, here's a Goro cameo. A lot of people don't like how he looks. I think that the outfit is kind of bland, but I don't have a problem with it at all. One thing I do think is kind of funny is the whole time he's doing this cameo, he has no emotion on his face. Not a single thought in that brain of his. So I think that is just unfinished. We have seen NetherRealm do this before, where in trailers they show unfinished assets and stuff like that. So this is probably just unfinished. But this stage looks so good. This guard and like all of this aesthetic, it really does remind me of the trailer where we saw Edenia, but maybe it wasn't Edenia. So, but either way, even if it's Outworld or Edenia, I think that the aspect of Kitana and Mileena being royalty and being part of that bloodline is going to stay the same. As for Goro, he does seem to just be a cameo fighter, so this isn't something to bat an eye at too much. But I do think he's not going to be playable just based off of this, but with that said, let's continue. Okay, there we have a Mileena roll, and she didn't even have to burn meter for that. Okay, and then Raiden versus Sub-Zero, Kung Lao cameo, Superman across the screen, there's the fireball, and a Mileena teleport, and a Striker cameo. Okay, that's a lot to unpack. So when you go here, the Fengxian tea house is like the best stage ever conceived by NRS. They really just like went off with this. I think that this is so cool seeing the people cook back here. This guy is like popping a cold one, and I think this is the daytime version of the stage. And it does seem that all stages are going to have a daytime and a nighttime version. Really cool. I think that they really stepped it up with the stages in this game, especially coming off of Mortal Kombat 11, where the stages were either dark and lifeless or darker and lifelesser. So, you know, that's cool to see. I think that the Superman here is like a full stage. Let's see. So yeah, it goes like across the entire stage, and it's an aerial move. So it is going to be interesting to see how you can combo with that, but it does seem more of a combo ender. I'm going to have to wait for more gameplay because I don't even know enough to really talk about the gameplay, especially when there's no HUD on screen. I don't know enough about that, so let's just continue. Okay, so here we see a Liu Kang fireball. As you guys can see, there's orange and blue fire. Look at that. That is so cool. They really went off with this. And if you guys didn't notice, this is the Living Forest. It is actually daytime. I think this is the first time we've ever seen it daytime. Maybe before, I might be a fake fan on that, but I'm pretty sure we've never seen it in daytime before. So this looks outstanding. And then here we have Mileena. Her stance here actually reminds me of like the 3D era where she's holding both of her sides. So that is fucking goated. I love that. So hits with that. Mileena teleport, grab into Striker. So this is what I was talking about, where some cameo attacks, you can't do anything. Like Mileena cannot do anything here. You're stuck in an animation. And Striker is attacking Liu Kang, and so Mileena's on the sidelines. So there are going to be a different variety of cameo attacks. And Striker is cool. I can't even lie though and say that I really like him. Like I don't really like any of the Special Forces characters. I don't really care about like a cop, you know what I mean? Like these characters are still cool, but definitely the aspect of Mortal Kombat that I care about the least. But I do think it is cool though that we're getting him as a cameo. And if he's even in the main roster, it'd be cool to see for sure, but let's continue. Okay, so now we have Kung Lao versus Johnny Cage. Okay, there's a Jax breaker. Okay, going into a fatal blow. And another explosion at the end of a fatal blow. Here's the fatalities. I'm gonna have to censor this, by the way. I apologize. I gotta get into the habit of censoring my videos. Because even if I'm not monetized now, you know, I might be in the future, so I have to get into that habit. I hope you guys understand. But okay, there's a Raiden fatality to end that, and then we have one more fatality of the trailer. And it is a Sub-Zero fatality. And it is of course the classic spine rip. It's so cool that they actually gave Sub-Zero an ending fatality in a trailer. Okay, and then so that's that. So let's go ahead and break down that last section of the trailer. So here there's some type of like a festival or some type of fair going on. It's like a lantern festival of sorts. And Johnny here has his iconic shades. Kung Lao seems to be more in his traditional outfit that we see him in Mortal Kombat games. And does he have a sharp hat on here? I think he does. Yeah, he does have a sharp hat on. Okay, interesting. But this stage is really nice. And I'm not even sure if it's in Outworld or Earthrealm because the sky is purple, but that could also just be because of the fireworks. But in the left corner here, there's like a purple sun or moon or something. So maybe this is Outworld. We do have a Classic Jax cameo here, and he is doing a breaker, so it is cool to see that cameos can actually do the breakers. I wonder if cameos are going to be the only thing that can do breakers? Like you can't do your own individual breaker. Maybe if the cameo is on cooldown, which I'm not even sure if there is going to be a big cooldown, which I'll talk about in a second. But let's go ahead and go through this one more time. So here is a duo fatal blow between Scorpion and Kung Lao. Super sick. Again, I'm only skeptical about this because of the animations. I wonder if the animations are going to be the same across the board. So for example, if you replace Scorpion here with Liu Kang, and so you do this same fatal blow, you start with Liu Kang, then Kung Lao throws the hat, and then does this animation every time, you know what I mean? And Scorpion's presence in this fatal blow would just be replaced with Liu Kang, you know what I mean? So I do think that that is very possible, where the cameos in the fatal blows will have the same animation every single time. But that's not really a bad thing, it just depends on how good it looks, you know what I mean? Because that is going to take a lot of development time for sure. But this fatal blow is so cool, dude. They really went off on the x-rays. It's very reminiscent of the Mortal Kombat Legends movies. It's not like bland kinda, where Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 9, when you would do the x-rays, like it was cool, but it was very like bare bones compared to this, where there's so much animation put into the x-ray portions. But again, these aren't actual x-rays, these are more so fatal blows that have the x-ray portion inside of it. And then an explosion, and then, okay, so then we get to see the fatalities. There's a Kung Lao fatality, a
Kano fatality.
Cameos do have fatalities, and then Scorpion fatality, Johnny Cage fatality, and then here's Raiden's fatality. This last one is probably the most interesting one because it's a 2-character fatality, kind of. So it seems that the player was playing with Scorpion and then they called in their cameo to do a fatality. So what I'm guessing happened is you do an input for a fatality like down, up, left, right, triangle or something. And then there's a certain input you can do to do your cameo's fatality, and I think that's all this is. But all the cameos seem to be the classic characters. I wonder if that's going to be for every single cameo. It's going to be a classic character, because this is like Scorpion calling in a classic Sub-Zero to do a classic fatality. So do keep that in mind. But with that said, I don't think I really missed anything. Again, I recorded like 40 minutes of this beforehand and I lost my footage. So I think I probably did. Fuck. Let me just go through and make sure I clarify some things. So Mileena has a disease, and she is the rightful heir to the Outworld throne.
If your disease becomes known, you will be
So she isn't born with like the Tarkatan teeth. It is something that happens later on. On top of that, Liu Kang has Scorpion and Sub-Zero as his right men. They are brothers in this timeline. What else? Kenshi needs Sento from Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is his normal movie star self. What else is there? Liu Kang, of course, is the fire god here. I think that's it for story stuff to cover. I don't know if I said it already, but Liu Kang, or not Liu Kang, excuse me, Sub-Zero and Scorpion are both Lin Kuei ninja. So in that story synopsis, it talks about how Liu Kang recruited Sub-Zero and Scorpion from the Lin Kuei. So I guess there is no Shirai Ryu in this timeline. I wonder how they're going to write the characters to make them interesting in this timeline, because they don't have their roots, which I'm not against. I think that this is really cool, not only for us existing fans of the series to see how the timeline changed, but also interesting for new fans, because they don't really have to consume anything. You know, like they can play this as their first Mortal Kombat game and enjoy it because it's a completely new story. So I'm all for that. Okay, so here are the gameplay screenshots that we have. So here's Liu Kang and Kitana fighting in the Fengjian tea house, and then Sub-Zero and Liu Kang fighting there as well. And Kano cameo with Sub-Zero there fighting Liu Kang. Sub-Zero is standing to the sidelines while Kano is doing this. So this is one of those cameo attacks where you can actually attack while they're doing it. And I think that's it for the screenshots. Let's go ahead and look through this gameplay briefly. Again, I don't want to waste too much time on this because I'm going to do a huge video on whatever gameplay we get from people playing it this weekend. And if you guys want me to, I'll probably do another breakdown on this trailer, on the gameplay trailer, doing like a 0.25x speed version of it. So if you guys want to see that, then do let me know in the comments. But let's go ahead and talk about this.
You'll pick, and then I know you also have a separate kind of cameo menu, so you pick sort of a pair when you start.
So this is the character select screen. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at how elegant, dude. Look at how beautiful Liu Kang is in the stands. Like, he's so fucking, oh, he's amazing. He's perfect. Sub-Zero looks really good here. Based off of this roster, it looks like there's going to be 24 characters in the base roster. I don't think that it's final. We can expect that there's going to be plenty of DLC, but even DLC aside, I don't know if like 24 characters in the base roster is like not that much. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's going to be okay, but a part of me thinks that this is not the full roster, but we'll see. But here we have Sub-Zero, Kenshi, Kitana, and Liu Kang.
In a fighting game, you'll see
So there's Kenshi, Sub-Zero,
roster,
Kitana,
basically, where you select your
Kenshi,
character.
Liu Kang,
After you do
okay.
that, there's a second roster of characters, which are a whole new, completely different fighters that are the cameo fighters. And these fighters actually, they will join the fight, but they,
A lot of blank squares there.
yeah. So it's kind of like imagine yourself with Sub-Zero, but you have some of Jack's moves.
So basically here he says that there is one character roster where you choose your main character, and then there's a second roster where you choose your cameo fighter. Here we have Kano, Sonya, and Jax. We already know about some other cameos like Striker, and also that some of the main roster can be playable as cameos. If you look here, Jax looks exactly like his Mortal Kombat 11 self, which is kind of funny, because it's like his MK2 self. It was MK2, right? I might be wrong, might be MK3. No, MK3 was when he got his arm, so I think it was MK2. Anyway, it's Jax's old self with his MK11 face model, which is kind of funny. But one thing that I think is a little bit of a bummer here is it seems that there are 16 cameo fighters here, and I really hope that it doesn't include the main roster cameos on this list. Like, I hope that there's a different way to choose the main roster as cameos, because if this is all the cameos, and we already know Sub-Zero is going to be a cameo, Kung Lao is going to be a cameo, Scorpion's going to be a cameo, and probably Liu Kang, like that's already 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you only have the rest of this for cameos. Like that's not cool to me. If you're gonna do the cameo system, I think that they should bring a bunch of characters to be cameos that are gonna be not in the main roster. I think that the main roster should be cameo fighters as well, which we already know is the case, and Ed Boon's about to say that. But I think that they shouldn't take up these 16 characters. Otherwise, it's like, why are we taking up so much space? The whole point of having these cameo fighters and bringing these iconic characters as little cameos and like Easter eggs should be a thing that you do with more characters than not. It wouldn't be as fun if like half the roster is cameos as well, and then the cameo system is not even that unique because you just see the characters from the main roster again. Yeah, I hope I'm making sense. I think I'm all over the place, but
You can call him out. You can do it multiple times. As you
this
saw
character
in the
select
gameplay.
screen is absolutely gorgeous, by the way, though.
You can basically
It's so
combine
good.
These two characters. All the characters can be combined with all.
So
the
yeah,
cameo
Sonya,
fighters.
Kano. Okay, so here, this is what I was talking about the stages. So the Fengjian Tea House has a day and night version. There's 20 stages and then 40 stages if you count the day and night versions, because I assume that all stages are going to have a day and night version.
And that's where you see. That's where the.
So how does that work?
Okay, so as you guys saw, there's a clash, and then the clash leads right into the fight.
It's just one button pushes basically summoning, but they have a variety, so you can go, push that button towards and it'll do a different move. Push it with down, it'll do a different move. And so the
While Kano comes up, Kenshi has to kind of take a back seat while Kano is doing his attack.
Bring them in a combo.
exactly, and you see there's.
But then here you're gonna see Sub-Zero bring Sonya in, boom, and that's like a combo extender. So that's an actual different type of cameo attack where you can stay out on the battlefield while they attack for you. Get up reversal, what the fuck? I didn't even see that. That's cool. The font in this game, it kind of reminds me of Mortal Kombat 9 a lot. But one thing I want to point out here is that Ed Boon does say that there is a like a meter at the top for the cameos. I'm not sure if he's talking about the actual cameo icon or he's talking about this bar that's above the health bar, but either way, the meters do not work. In this actual video here, the meters are not doing anything because this is just a demo. They didn't even like show off the actual meters doing what they're supposed to do. So whenever they throw out a cameo, there's no cooldown, and whenever they use an EX move, there's no meter burn. The aerial combat looks so good. Okay, there's a Sonya cameo, Kano breaker, but right there at the end there, you can see the fatal blow. See up here on Kenshi's life bar, it does confirm that fatal blows are back, and so it's going to be tied to 30% of your max HP. But that's what that is. That's the gameplay. Probably will do more gameplay breakdowns on this stuff. I just wanted to do something because I already had issues with recording this video. I wasn't able to record yesterday, and then I had to re-record this. So it's been a mess. Everything to make me not make a video on this has happened. So that's very unfortunate, but I appreciate your guys' patience, and I know you guys understand. So coming up, I probably will do another video on this. Let me know your guys' thoughts and suggestions down below. And then also on top of that, I do have a community reaction coming up. Let me see. Go to the community post here. So on the community post here, this one, I asked your guys' thoughts, and so I'm going to do a community reaction video for this. Probably later today, but I'll see what happens. But I appreciate you guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.